The Sev-av night was a symphony of chaos, a relentless performance under a blanket of humid air and neon signs. Beneath the concrete overpass of Ankpia Street, known colloquially as the Underbridge, this symphony found its grittiest movement. Here, the air was a thick cocktail of generator fumes, the sharp scent of cheap gin, and the smoky aroma of spiced meat grilling on charcoal fires. Men with hungry eyes and loose notes gathered around plastic tables, their laughter too loud, their boasts echoing in the cavernous space. It was a marketplace for fleeting desires, and tonight, like every night, a special vendor had set up her stall. She stood slightly apart, a silhouette against the pulsating red taillights of the endless traffic. Her name, whispered by men with trembling lips, was Anna. She was a vision carved from moonlight and desire. A crimson dress hugged every curve of her spectacular body, and her walk was a hypnotic rhythm that promised earthly delights. She was the most beautiful woman many of them had ever seen, but they were blind. They saw the hot body, but they did not see the ghost. Victor, a burly man with a booming voice and 3 empty bottles of beer at his elbow, was the first to dare approach her that night. His friend, Urva, a more cautious man, grabbed his arm. "Victor, don't. She looks like a movie star. What kind of money do you have for her? Please look at that other one in yellow. She seems fine." "Urva, be quiet," Victor slurred, shaking him off. "You worry too much. A king like me deserves a queen." What a learn. He swaggered over, his chest puffed out. "My sister, you are absolutely stunning. What is your name?" She turned her head slowly. Her eyes were dark pools reflecting the distant lights, but holding no light of their own. "You can call me Anna." Her voice was a low, melodious hum that seemed to bypass his ears and vibrate directly in his soul. "Hey, Anna, a beautiful name for a beautiful woman. My name is Victor. I'm the most successful guy in this area. Should we go to my place? I have good drinks at home." A ghost of a smile played on her full lips. "No, my place is better. It's quiet. No disturbances. Just you and me." Victor's grin widened. "Lead the way, Byrondell." As they left the noise of the underbridge, a strange silence began to descend. The honking of cars faded into a muffled echo. The bright, garish lights of the city seemed to stretch and warp, their colors bleeding into a dull, monochrome gray. Victor, in his drunken stupor, attributed the sudden chill to the night air. He didn't notice the smooth asphalt and all his shoes crack and give way to packed earth and gravel. He didn't see the high-rise buildings morph into the skeletal outlines of ancient, whispering trees. Anna's illusion was a powerful, palpable force. To Victor, they were walking through the clean, guarded gates of a luxury estate. He saw a pristine pathway, well-manicured lawns, and a modern apartment block. He reached out and felt the cool, smooth brass of a door handle. In reality, his fingers curled around the flaking, rusted iron of the main gate to the Sev-av cemetery. The sound he heard as a soft click was the loud, mournful groan of metal against stone. "Welcome to my home," Anna whispered, her breath cold on his neck. He stepped inside. "Jesus Christ!" he exclaimed, his voice full of awe. "Goodness, you live in a place like this? Your living room looks like a movie set." The apartment was magnificent. A large plush white sofa, a glittering chandelier, a vast television screen on the wall. But the details were subtly wrong. The images on the screen were static snow. The air, despite the illusion of opulence, carried the unmistakable damp scent of soil
and decay. A faint sweet smell like rotting flowers lay beneath the phantom scent of a freshener. "Make yourself comfortable," she said, her voice echoing slightly in the large hollow space of the graveyard. "Would you like a drink?" "Anything, my love, as long as it helps me enjoy your company even more." She gestured to an illusory cabinet. Victor poured himself an imaginary drink, swallowing nothing but air, yet feeling a burn down his throat, a psychosomatic trick of her powerful magic. She led him to the bedroom. To Victor, it was a sanctuary of silk and soft light. A large four-poster bed with curtains dominated the room. In truth, they stood in a clearing between two grand weathered tombs. The bed, a carefully arranged pile of cold damp leaves and moss, covered with a thin spectral sheet. Pale moonlight, the room's only real light source, filtered through the canopy of a gnarled hieroglyphy, casting long skeletal shadows. He reached for her, drawn by her beauty, his hands clumsy with desire. Her skin was smooth, but unnaturally cool, like marble on a winter's morning. She was passive, a doll going through the motions, her dark eyes staring at the starless sky above. The sounds he made were passionate, grunting, and alive. She was silent as the graves surrounding them. When it was over, a profound, bone deep cold descended upon the clearing. The illusory room flickered violently. For a split second, Victor saw it. The crumbling tombstones, the twisted tree roots, the pale, dead face of the woman beneath him. "What is this?" he stammered, his drunkenness evaporating into pure, unadulterated fear. "The lights are flickering, and this cold is too much." Anna turned her head. Her beautiful face was now a mask of watasi pallor. Her eyes were entirely black. "Sleep," she commanded, her voice now a chorus of 100 voices. A single icy finger touched the center of his forehead. It jogged like a bolt of frozen lightning shot through him. His eyes rolled back into his skull, and he collapsed into a deep coma-like slumber on the cold earth. He awoke not to a gentle sunrise, but to the violent crowing of a rooster perched on a nearby crib. The world had snapped back into brutal, horrifying focus. The silk sheets were dirt. The soft mattress was a hard, unyielding ground. The bedroom ceiling was the grey pre-dawn sky. He was naked. His clothes were scattered around him, stained with mud and leaf litter. His skin was colored with a fine grey powder, the dust of the dead. He turned his head slowly, his heart hammering against his ribs like a chopped bird. His face was inches from a granite tombstone. The inscription was clear in the weak light. "Blessing Ugande, beloved wife and mother, 1971, 2010. A scream, raw and primal, tore from his throat, shattering the cemetery's peace. He scrambled backwards. His hand sank into the soft, freshly tanned earth of another grave. He vomited the cheap beer and seasoning from hours ago, now a foul offering to the dead. He dressed with frantic terror and fumbling terror. His sobs echoing through the rows of silent witnesses. Then he ran, stumbling over mounds and crashing to the bushes, his mind irrevocably broken. From the shadows behind a large angel statue, and now watched him go. A grim, cold satisfaction settled in her spectral heart. This was her justice, not taking lives, but the theft of peace. The implantation of a memory so terrifying it would haunt the every waiting moment and poison the every dream.
She went on like this for months, moving from one hidden corner of Sev-av to another. Nightclubs, quiet streets, smoky roadside bars, looking for men who carried arrogance in their stride and desire for flesh in their eyes. One by one, she lured them. One by one, she shattered them. But there was one man who was different. Samson had seen her once before. He had felt her presence like a chill at his spine. But that night, He had been unprepared. Without the sacred items he needed, without the strength of ritual at his side. Since then, he had been searching for her, following whispers, listening to stories of broken men and haunted screams. And now, on this very night, his search had ended. On Ankpia Street, he found her again. "Good evening," he said, his voice a low, resonant baritone that seemed to calm the very air around them. "Good evening," Anna replied, slipping back into her role, her voice layering honey over ice. "You look like you're looking for company." "I am," Samson said, his gaze unwavering, "but not the kind you offer. Your place is quiet," you said. "Let's go there. I want to see it." A frisson of alarm, the first in a long time, went through her, but her purpose was stronger. She smiled. "You are confident. I like that. Follow me." The familiar transformation began. The noise faded, the lights warped. But Samson did not see the apartments, the fine chandeliers, the illusions others saw. He saw the path for what it was. A narrow, overgrown trail leading into the heart of sorrow. He felt the despair that clung to the iroko trees, heard the whispered grievances of the other souls trapped there. When they reached the rusted cemetery gate, he did not wait for her. He reached out and pushed it open himself, the iron groaning in protest. Anna stopped dead. "How did you do that?" "The door in your house is always open for me, Anna," he said, stepping through and looking around at the sea of graves with a sad, knowing expression. Her composure cracked. "You know my name?" "I know what you are," he stated, turning to face her. The beautiful woman in the red dress flickered like a faulty hologram. "I see the glamour, the illusion, but I see past it. The hot body is a ghost, a beautiful shell for a pain so profound it has frozen a repair. Who did this to you, daughter?" "Do not call me daughter." The shriek that erupted from her was not human. It was the sound of tearing metal and quaking glass. Her beautiful form dissolved, revealing the truth beneath. A pale, translucent spirit in a tattered, mud-stained white dress. Her face was a mask of anguish and rage, her eyes black pits of fury. "You are just like the rest. Another filthy, cruel animal. You will wake up here screaming like all the others." "I am not like them," Samson said, his voice a pillar of calm in the face of her storm. "And I will not scream. I see you, Anna. Not the weapon you have become, but the woman you were. The pain you carry is a cancer. Spreading it to others will not cure you. It only feeds the torment, keeping you bound to this miserable plane." His words, laced with an undeniable truth and a compassion she had not felt in years, broke her. The rage evaporated, leaving behind a crushing, desolate sorrow. The vengeful spirit vanished, and in her place was a young girl, weeping on her knees on the disturbed earth that was her grave. The illusion was gone. They stood in the cold, clear reality of the cemetery. "It won't heal me," he sobbed, her voice now a fragile, broken thing, but it makes them feel a fraction of it. Just a fraction. The fear, the violation, the horror, they feel a tiny piece of what I felt. "Tell me," Samson commanded, his voice gentle but firm. "Speak your pain. Let me bear witness." And so she did. The story spilled out of her, a torrent of long-suppressed terror. She had been a banker, ambitious and full of life, working late at a branch in Victoria Island. She missed her last boss, a black SUV with tinted windows pulled offside her sheet. Four well-dressed men, their breath smelling of expensive whiskey and evil, offered her a ride. Exhausted and trusting, she accepted. They didn't take her home. They drove in silence, the doors locked, the atmosphere turning predatory. They brought her here, to this very spot. They dragged her from the car.
"They called me names," she whispered, her voice trembling. They said I was asking for it because of the way I dressed. They took turns right here. She described the grit of the soil in her mouth, the crushing weight of them, the searing pain, the cruel laughter that drowned out her pleas. When they were finished, they were afraid. I had seen their faces. One of them, a large man with a gold ring, kicked up a heavy, jagged stone. She described the grit of the soil in her mouth, the crushing weight of them, the searing pain, the cruel laughter that drowned out her pleas. When they were finished, they were afraid. I had seen their faces. One of them, a large man with a gold ring, picked up a heavy, jagged stone. He said, "No evidence." Then she didn't need to finish. The final sickening crunch was implied in the utter silence that followed her words. "They buried me in a shallow grave right here," she said, her voice flat now, all emotions bent. "My parents looked for me for months. They never found me. My spirit did not rise to a place of light. It woke up here, burning with a rage so hot it felt like life. So I use it. I use this body they desire to lead their kind to the hell they made for me." Anna, Samson said, kneeling before her, his own eyes glistening. "Your anger is justified. Your pain is real. But this path is a circle of hell, not an escape from it. These men you torment are not the ones who hurt you. You are perpetuating the very cycle of violence that destroyed you. You must let go. Forgive them." "Forgive?" The word was a bitter laugh. "How can I?" "Forgiveness is not for them. It is for you. It is the key to your own prison cell. It is the only way to drop the chains of this anger and finally rest. Your story has been heard. Your pain has been acknowledged. Let me help you lay it down." He saw the resistance in her eyes finally shatter. She was tired. So infinitely tired. He opened the small pouch she carried. He poured a circle of pure palm oil around her grave, a barrier against the negative energy that held her. He crushed alligator pepper, the sharp, cleansing scent cutting through the decay. Then he began to chant, a low, rhythmic prayer, a mix of ancestral voice and modern tongue, a plea to the ancestors and the Almighty to open the way for a lost child to come home. "We are children of the earth, and to the earth we return. Spirit that walks in anger, let your feet find rest. The wounds of your body are no longer chains. The pain of your heart is no longer a prison. Ancestors, open the path for her. Let the light receive her. Let the darkness resist her. Let her story be carried by the living, and her soul be carried by the dawn." As he chanted, a soft golden light began to emanate from the very earth where she knelt. It traveled up her spectral form, warming her, solidifying her with light instead of flesh. The tattered stained dress transformed into a radiant gown of pure, brilliant white. The anguish on her face smoothed away, replaced by a peace so profound it was heartbreaking to behold. The hardness of vengeance was replaced by the softness of release. She looked at her hands, now glowing with inner light, and then up at something. A real, gentle smile, the first in years, touched her lips. "I see it," she murmured, her voice clear and melodic like a bell. "I see a warm light. It's, it's, it's beautiful. I'm not cold anymore, Samson. I'm not cold." "Go on peace, Anna," he said, his voice thick with emotion. "Your fight is over. Your story is not my burden to carry. I will remember you. Thank you, she whispered. The light intensified, becoming a brilliant, silent star at the heart of the cemetery. It pulsed once warmly, lovingly, and then gently dissolved into 1,000 moods of golden dust that rose and faded into the emerging dawn. Samson remained on his knees for a long time. The oppressive weight was gone. The air was clean, carrying only the fresh scent of the coming rain. The haunting chill had been replaced by the neutral cool of the Sev-av morning. The hot body was no more. The ghost was finally and truly at rest.